23 years of age. I work at a small accounting firm off of Michigan Avenue called Checks and Balances. Right now it's tax season for us. It's kind of like closing, winding down. Next week is Thursday, April 15th. So I do generally commute from the suburbs. I take the metro just about every day I come down. It's about $50 for a 10 ride, and that gets me through about the week. I'm coming on weekends, and it's been kind of a pain recently. As you know, trains aren't always that reliable. So sometimes I get a little bit late. It takes me about 30 to 35 minutes to walk from Union Station to my place of work. So if it's running late and I want to be on time, I'm gonna have to catch the CTA. It can be a gamble on the weekends. If there's any delay there, I kind of get screwed. But at the same time, like I said, it's still a gamble at times when you need to get places. And sometimes that 15-20 minutes isn't worth waiting for if you can get there in less than a reasonable time walking. It's kind of like I said, it might arrive in 5 minutes if you're lucky, but sometimes you end up waiting 20 minutes, and it's just a waste of your time.
I'm 20 years old and I'm a student at Columbia College. I do ride the CTA, ride the red line on most every day, occasionally the blue line or brown line. These are probably once a day, more on the weekends, so like coming from parties. So you're waiting longer for the train, which is not always good when you're waiting at like 2 o'clock in the morning on some like random. That would be a problem when I'm going to work. I used to leave like 20 minutes early. Now it's more like 30 minutes, which just poses a problem because it cuts everything back and you're like late for work or late for class. I was on the red line about 2 weeks ago and a man approached me and asked for my cell phone, which I had out in my hand. And when I refused to give it to him, he reached in his pocket for a gun and he told me he had one. So he then took my phone, and it was right at the same time that the doors were opening for one of the stops. He just walked off. No one on the train said anything, and it was like as easy as that. I'm gonna try to go towards like the front car as much as possible, just to be safe. Like it's right there. I don't think they'll touch you if you're in like right behind the conductor. I know that the safety issue is probably like really high, but you realize what you're getting yourself into when you take the job.
CTA's work with him, but remember the union said lay off 1,000 workers. You know that. They did not want to give 8 days. 8 days. 8 days. 8 days a year. 8 days to save 1,000. It's a tough job. Driving buses is a tough job. I mean, every day and all that. I mean, very frank. They do a good job. I'm going to tell you, they do a good job. Now we put GPSs on so people know when the buses are coming. We're really using technology in order for public transportation to work. It's because the cost of transportation is huge. Unions have negotiated, and they earn good salaries. Yes.
Services in general have been cut back because of the lack of personnel, and it just takes longer to get things done because we have less funding, less resources to cover the amount of time. We're trying to do everything with no overtime to begin with. That's a major cutback. But the services are the most important things that we can provide to the city of Chicago. It's taxpayers. We still continue to do that, but in some instances it has scaled back. It's taken a little longer to provide the services, namely because of the economic factors that we're dealing with today.
As of right now, it's 8:40 and my bus has just arrived. It only took about 10 minutes.